The question revolves around mixing emergency and non-emergency circuits within systems furniture, specifically Steelcase, during a call center rewiring project. The situation involves routing both normal circuits and circuits powered by UPS, which is in turn fed by an emergency generator, through the furniture's raceway to different receptacles. The emergency generator is used for legally required egress lighting. The core question is whether the UPS circuits are considered emergency circuits, and therefore prohibited from being mixed with normal circuits in the Steelcase raceway, according to National Electrical Code, or NEC, Section 700.9b. If mixing is not allowed, alternative raceway solutions like wire mold or conduit would be necessary for the UPS circuits. According to the answer, UPS circuits are indeed considered emergency circuits if they are used to power emergency lighting. Therefore, mixing UPS circuits with normal circuits in the Steelcase raceway is not permissible under NEC Section 700.9b. The Code Section 700.9b specifically addresses wiring of emergency circuits and states that emergency wiring must be kept entirely independent of all other wiring, services, and equipment. This separation aims to ensure the reliability and functionality of emergency systems during power outages or other emergency situations. The term independent means physical separation, different raceways, and dedicated circuits. The NEC mandates this separation to prevent a fault in the normal wiring from affecting the emergency system. This separation is crucial for ensuring the emergency system operates reliably during an emergency, such as a power outage. Firstly, consider the implications of a fault in the normal wiring if it were mixed with emergency wiring. Such a fault could potentially disrupt the emergency system, rendering it inoperable when it is needed most. Secondly, maintaining separation helps prevent inadvertent modifications or repairs to the normal wiring from affecting the emergency system. Thirdly, having separate raceways and wiring ensures that qualified personnel can easily identify and work on the emergency system without the risk of accidentally interfering with normal circuits. Given that the UPS system in question powers emergency egress lighting, it falls under the definition of an emergency system and must adhere to the stringent separation requirements outlined in NEC Section 700.9b. Regarding potential solutions, the answer highlights two primary options. One is to use a separate raceway system, such as wire mold or conduit, for the UPS circuits. This approach maintains the required physical separation between emergency and normal wiring. The other option is to use a raceway system specifically designed and listed for mixed emergency and non-emergency wiring. These specialized raceways typically incorporate physical barriers or other features to ensure adequate separation between the two types of circuits. When selecting a raceway system, several factors must be considered, including the type and number of conductors, the ampacity requirements, and the environmental conditions. The raceway must be sized appropriately to accommodate all conductors without exceeding its full capacity. Additionally, the raceway material must be suitable for the environment in which it will be installed. For example, if the raceway will be exposed to moisture, a corrosion-resistant material should be used. Furthermore, all wiring and raceway installations must comply with all applicable NEC requirements and local codes. It is essential to consult with a qualified electrical engineer or contractor to ensure that the installation meets all safety and code requirements. Consider the following points for implementing the solutions. For separate raceways, ensure that the raceway used for the UPS circuits is physically separated from the raceway used for the normal circuits by an adequate distance. This distance may be specified by local codes or regulations. For raceways designed for mixed wiring, verify that the raceway is listed for this purpose and that it provides sufficient separation between the emergency and non-emergency circuits. When pulling conductors through the raceway, be careful not to damage the insulation. Damaged insulation can create a ground fault or short circuit, which could compromise the safety of the system. After the installation is complete, thoroughly inspect all wiring and connections to ensure that they are properly installed and secure. Test the emergency lighting system to verify that it operates correctly during a power outage. Consider the requirements of NEC Article 700 Emergency Systems, 701 Legally Required Standby Systems, and 702 Optional Standby Systems. Article 700 covers emergency systems, which are essential for safety to human life. Article 701 covers legally required standby systems, which are required by law or by a governmental agency. Article 702 covers optional standby systems, which are intended to supply power to non-essential loads. The distinction between these types of systems is crucial because the NEC imposes different requirements for each. Emergency systems have the most stringent requirements, followed by legally required standby systems, and then optional standby systems. Since the egress lighting is legally required, the UPS system feeding it would likely fall under Article 701 legally required standby systems, in addition to Article 700. It is important to carefully review these articles to ensure that the installation meets all applicable requirements. In summary, mixing emergency and non-emergency circuits in the Steelcase Raceway is not permitted if the UPS system powers emergency egress lighting. Using separate raceways or those specifically designed for mixed wiring are viable solutions. Always consult with a qualified professional and adhere to all applicable codes and standards. Consider factors such as conductor type, raceway fill capacity, environmental conditions, and the requirements of NEC Articles 700, 701, and 702.